This is a highlight of the Off Topical podcast. Listen for free to the whole episode at offtopical.net. Okay, and now it's time for our last story. The Australian government just enacted an anti-encryption law. It's a first for violating user privacy.
It's the first for being the stupidest law ever passed. It actually takes the cake on every other law that's probably ever been passed. It's been completely and utterly retarded.
Yeah, it is absolutely just the dumbest law that has ever existed.
It's so stupid. And you know, here's the thing. Like, you know, because for those of you that don't know, basically what the law states is that companies have to provide a backdoor in their encryption, which basically means that their encryption algorithm is not encrypted anymore.
Right.
And as we know, most Western governments have been trying to do this for quite some time. How Australia came out and like told everyone to hold their beer while they just sidelined and then brought this out magically is beyond me. You know, I was expecting like the US or the UK or hell, anyone in Europe before Australia, honestly. I guess I just don't pay enough attention to Australia.
Australia has a track record of having some really dumb laws.
Yeah, I know. Their game laws are also pretty stupid too, in fairness. But what I wanted to say about this is that this law is, you know, this law actually made me so mad when I saw that it passed because I thought about all the repercussions of it. It made me so mad that I got so angry that I got calm. Like, I was furious, like actually furious. You know, I'm not really a person that usually gets very angry, in fairness. I don't like to get angry. But when it comes to messing with privacy and stuff and people, because like this has like a lot of ramifications for like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I mean, so basically my thing is like the Purism phone, you know, they're going to include Matrix, which has end-to-end encryption. Well, are the Matrix devs going to add an encryption backdoor for just Australia? Are they going to have like a special client? Like, how's it going to work?
Yeah.
Or are they just going to give the Australian government the middle finger and tell them no? So does that mean that they'll never be able to be allowed to have a Purism phone? What about, you know, almost every single service that has end-to-end encryption, like, say, Telegram?
Right.
You know, like I actually feel that I don't think this law is going to affect the rest of the world. I think this law might just affect Australia. Like, Australia might just suddenly not have YouTube, Telegram, Google Chat,
right.
Skype.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like this is what this is going to do. Is this is going to make a lot of like open source projects just not be allowed to distribute their stuff in Australia, and it's going to make it so that Australians are only going to be able to talk to other Australians because they're only going to have access to, you know, locally made apps that comply with Australian law, and the rest of the, you know, IT industry is going to be like, sorry, but we're not going to weaken security like that.
Yeah, because what are they going to do? I mean, you know, Australia is definitely, you know, it's definitely a population you want to support, but at the same time, it's like, no, we'll go over here and support, you know, the rest of the world where we can make more money.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, even Steam uses encryption, for God's sake. I mean, it's like, what, is Steam going to add in a backdoor? Because, I mean, if Steam does that, Valve does that, I'll just be like, well, I'm done with Valve.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's the other thing. So you have to have a backdoor in all your encryption algorithms. So that means, like, PayPal will have to reveal its encryption. Like...
Right. But it's like, you know...
Because the law doesn't specifically specify... Like, if I recall, the law doesn't specify, like, what applications using encryption. Like, it doesn't say, like, you know, only communication apps have to have backdoors. It doesn't say that.
Right.
It just says you have to have a backdoor for encryption. Now, you know, like you've said before, this doesn't mean that encryption's outlawed. It just means it has to have a backdoor, which is basically the same damn thing. Because once you put a backdoor in, you know, how long is it going to be before someone, not the government, is going to find it? Also, what's to keep the government from abusing the backdoor?
Right, right. Well, so what, you know, my thought on this is that it doesn't outlaw real encryption, right? Like, it doesn't make the use of effective real encryption illegal, but it does make it so that, like, tech companies, when they implement encryption, they have to have a way to undermine it, to like get access to a point where they, didn't have access because it has real encryption. So like basically what that means is like if you install WhatsApp, hypothetically they have end-to-end encryption, but like WhatsApp is going to have to like on one of the peers like have some way to actually get that data back out. The thing is, if you put these backdoors in, right, then criminals will find them. That's just how it is. And it's like you're only hurting the average person. The average person communication is going to be vulnerable because they're not going to know how, they don't have the technical means to actually protect themselves against this law. Really what you're doing is you're helping criminals. Well, the criminals will be able to use real encryption that doesn't have a backdoor. And it's like, I just don't understand how anyone can wrap their head around this. It's like with DRM, right? It's like DRM. It doesn't do anything to address the actual problem, and it only harms people who are just trying to be honest. Yep. It's the same exact problem.
DRM is to keep honest people honest. That's all it is. It's not to prevent people from stealing it. It's just to keep honest people honest.
Yeah.
Which is stupid to begin with, because honest people are already honest, but whatever.
Right.
This law has all the markings of for the children,
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
like think of the children. Yeah, okay. So this law is supposed to only be used for bad people like terrorists and stuff, okay? So now terrorists are just going to avoid all this stuff, and they're going to go use some obscure thing. They're going to use Matrix.
Right.
Or Tox. They're going to use that sort of stuff. They're not going to use, Line or Skype or anything else like that. They probably don't even use that stuff to begin with.
Right. Really, yeah, this is really just hurting Australians, like the average person. It's not going to harm criminals. It's not going to hinder them. It's not going to allow law enforcement to de-encrypt, Joe Rando's, illegal plans to do something illegal.
Yeah, and this will count for everything. So, it'll count for like, your encrypted iPhone, your encrypted Android, your encrypted Linux partition. How the hell is that going to work?
Dude, that's the thing. It's not going to work.
Yeah, you're gonna convince like whoever maintains the the encryption algorithms for Linux to give a backdoor. No, they'll just tell you no, and they don't have to because they don't sell it in Australia, so they don't have to do anything. They're just gonna ignore it. And it's like the same thing like Windows, like Microsoft. One thing that's really funny about Microsoft encryption on their hard drives, if you lose that file or whatever, it's gone for good. And your drive is just kaput. Like, even they can't get into it, apparently.
Right.
It's dead. Which is really funny, because, by the way, as a side note, if you're not careful, Microsoft will upload that encryption key to their servers on OneDrive, which is just...
Oh, my God.
I know. It's funny. Anyway, that's not the point. So, yeah, I mean, So yeah, I mean, I foresee this law being really bad for Australians. In fact, I see this law being so bad for Australians, stuff like, at least for a little bit, like tech companies should all get together and they should just be like, all right, look, tomorrow we're just going to shut down everything for Australians. We're just going to shut it all down for a week and see how long it takes until this law is revoked. Probably take like a day.
Yeah. Or, what would be even better is like, white hats will find the way into the back door for this law mandates, and they'll steal and dox some of these politicians that were proponents of this.
Yeah, but see, they'll use encryption that doesn't have a backdoor.
Dude, they're so dumb to write.
It's the whole double standard.
Dude, if they're dumb enough to write this law, they don't know how to use real encryption.
I don't know.
Dude, seriously.
I don't know. It's crazy. Well,
this law, this law was written by a Luddite who thinks computers are magic. Seriously. Like, this is not a law written by someone who understands how computers, how encryption, how digital devices work. They don't get it.
Well,
they think RoboCop is based on reality. I mean, it's insane, dude.
I mean, technically computers are magical. I mean, you are just firing electricity through a rock. So, I mean, if you go down to like the very basics, it is pretty magical.
Okay.
It's a lot more complicated than that. But no, I love that joke or that saying, computers are just lightning being fired through a rock.
Yeah, essentially.
But yeah, this is just crazy. In fact, when I saw this on the show notes, because I know I sent it to you, and I remember your reaction. It was complete and utter disbelief. You thought I was pulling your leg or something. This is stupid.
I mean, this seems like something you'd see on The Onion. Like this is
it's like, this is just a joke. And then, what's sad too is the internet really didn't talk much about it because no one cares.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't as much of a blowback as, about its thing. Hang on. So unrelated to the podcast, I just want to point this out, by the way, really quick. Speaking of stupid stuff, Johnson & Johnson just admitted that they knew that their Johnson's baby powder, the talc stuff that they've had since 1971, has asbestos in it. They've never once reported that it had asbestos in it.
What?
Now, it's actually very impressive that they managed to go this far before someone found out that they have asbestos in it. That is actually mind-blowing.
That's crazy. Did you just see that?
Yeah, someone just sent it to me. I don't know why they sent it to me. It's not like I have kids. It's not like I use, Johnson's & Johnson's, baby powder. I don't know how I'd use that for. But speaking of stupid stuff, I mean, really?
Yeah.
Like, the future of our entire species, and you just want to rub asbestos all over them? Super.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, sometimes I read the news and I just have like absolutely no hope.
No hope? Yeah, I know. But then you don't read the news and you feel amazing.
Yeah. I go watch Star Trek and I feel a little bit better.
You know what you should watch?
What?
Stargate.
No.
What do you mean no?
It's too mundane. It's too like...
Oh, dude, Stargate's great. Especially once you get past first season.
Okay.
Because like the first season of Stargate, they're like trying to find their footing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as a show. And then it just gets really good. Like the best episode ever is the time loop episode. It's an amazing episode.
Okay.
Fan favorite. It's a good show. You'd like it. You would like it. If you like Stargate or Star Trek, you'd probably would like it.
I might.
We could literally spend like the next 50 minutes on the podcast talking about why you should like Stargate because it's amazing.
Yeah, I probably should check it out. I just haven't had time.
No, I totally understand that, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and it's got like 250 episodes or something, and you're just like,
actually, it has 860 if you count all the spin-off episodes.
and 214 episodes plus 2 DVD films.
Wow. That's crazy. Anyway.
And it's from 1997, dude.
If you guys like Stargate, let us know. Do you think...
Hey, it's less depressing than talking about the fact Australia just killed encryption for an entire country.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What do you think about that story? Australia, are you Australian? Is this going to impact you, or do you think it's being overblown here on the podcast? Let us know. This will be up on YouTube, so let us know in the comments. Or you can send us an email, show@offtopical.net, or you can head over to the forums, forum.heavyelement.io. What you just heard is a highlight from the Off Topical podcast. Listen to the full episode for free over at offtopical.net.